Hello, everyone, and welcome to News Now, Belmont Journal News Show and Community Update. I'm your host, Shanul Malik, welcoming you to today's feature. Today we have Hal Shubin, Chair of the Belmont Farmers Market, joining us. Belmont Farmers Market has been in inception since 2006, so it's in its 16th season. It's a project of the Belmont Food Collaborative. And nothing says more like summer is around the corner than a farmer's market. So here we have Hal Shubin joining us. Tell us more about it, Hal. When is it opening? What are the hours?
Okay. Well, today is June 1st, and the market opens on June 3rd. So that's Thursday. Mm-hmm. And the hours are 2 until 6:30. The market runs until the end of October. In October, we close at 6 just because it gets dark and a little cold.
Mm-hmm. And now that we are sort of towards the tail end of the pandemic and we have new regulations, or rather they're of lack of coming from the state, can you talk to us a little bit about what can shoppers expect?
Sure. So our goal this season is to make sure everybody feels comfortable and safe as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So we're going to keep some of the regulations that we had last year. We're not requiring masks, but we're recommending that people wear masks. And the staff and the vendors will all wear masks because we'll be there all day and we want to be safe as well. And as the CDC recommends, anybody who's not vaccinated, for those folks, we're also recommending masks. Once again, we ask people to stay home if they don't feel well. Because we're suggesting masks, there's no eating or drinking or sampling at the market. Last year, we had colored spots to mark standing positions to set up 6-foot social distancing. We want still to keep space to make sure people are comfortable, but we're going to reduce those to 4 feet this year. And the spots will be in front of each stand to show people where to line up. The biggest change that people will notice this year is that everyone will be allowed to select their own produce. Last year, the state had a rule that wasn't allowed. Mm-hmm. And we're hoping that'll speed things up and reduce the lines this year.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely good news. Yeah. I understand there are the old favorites coming back, but there are some new vendors as well. Can you talk to us about, share some of the names? What can shoppers expect?
Yeah, so we have 6 new vendors and I think 17 returning ones. Mm-hmm. And they're all on our website because I'm not going to be able to remember all of the names. But the new ones include Hillside Harvest, which is hot sauce, and A Butter, which is almond butter, Giant Gorilla Greens, which is microgreens. They're like little shoots that are very nutritious and tasty. We have a new bread baker, Hearth Artisan Bread, and a cheese vendor, Round Table Farm, and maybe 1 or 2 others that don't come to mind right away, but they're all on the website, and that'll have the list of who will be there each week.
That's great. That sounds great. Are you in need of any volunteers at this point? If the community wanted to help out?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're always looking for volunteers to help people. We have a lot of new shoppers every year, and so it's nice to have volunteers there to explain who the vendors are and what the rules are. Obviously, the farmers market's about food. It's usually about community. We're not doing a lot of the community things we used to do, but there's still a nice feeling there. And the third most important thing we do is food assistance. Mm-hmm. And we offer matching of SNAP benefits. SNAP is what food stamps is now called. And 3 of our 4 big produce vendors are part of the HIP program, which offers free produce to SNAP recipients. And it's nice to have volunteers there who can explain those programs to people as well.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be every Thursday, and would the same vendors rotate, or some might have one every other week kind of?
Yeah, so many of them are weekly. The big produce vendors are weekly. For example, the meat and fish vendors and the cheese vendor will be there every week. Some of the others are monthly or on an occasional basis, because we want to fit in as many vendors as we can, and not all of them want to be there every week. Sometimes they want to be at a different market. So then the best way to find out about that is to sign up for the newsletter, which is available on our website, and that'll go out every week and tell people what the schedule is.
Well, this all sounds very exciting. As I said, a sure sign of summer around the corner.
Yeah.
And anyone in need for good local food and farm products and wants to support the local farmers and meet in a community setting, this is the place to be, June 3rd.
Yeah.
Did you say 2 to 6:30 or 2:30 to 6:30?
2 to 6:30. And, it's a good point about supporting local farmers. The folks that bring produce to us or meat, the dairies, they're smaller operations than the folks that supply the big supermarkets. And it's nice to support them, get local food that hasn't traveled across the country, food that was picked just that day or a day or two before. That's really one of the great things about the farmers market. The food is as fresh as it can be.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest draws, I think, for a farmers market, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Hal, for joining us. And this is definitely one new development in the community that we all look forward to. This is your host, Shonul Malik, signing off. I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Thanks.